Hello and welcome to Community, where we have front porch conversations while we sip on a little tea. Today I have with me my son Ryan and his wife Princess. They are newlyweds. So I wanted to bring them on this episode today because a lot of young people are told to wait until their 30s. Now, getting married early is not for everyone. My husband and I, we married young. Matter of fact, we were only 20 when we first got married. And they are 23 and 24. So they were quite young, right? So I want to talk to them just for those who it's for. Again, this is not for everyone. But I want to talk to them more about the why and what led them to it and why they took that step. Dating is hard from my understanding. Again, it's been a minute for me. So I want to hear from them, this generation, what made them marry now? Why did they move forward with the step? Again, when so many others, your age group, are like, I don't know, I have to wait, I need to finish this. I hear that so often. I need to pay this off first. I need to finish this first. Why does it, you feel that it works for you at this time? So I want to start with my son, Ryan. You know, what made you propose? Let's start there.
I would say the proposal came from you got enough time being in a relationship that you get to the point that you guys are invested well enough that moving to that next step is going to be the same but just solidifying, because if you're with that person for quite some time, if you build that relationship, if you build that line of trust and just overall just feelings to that person, after a while you just know. And I felt that instead of continuously dating, the word dating is just testing out our test trial. We've already been through that. It's been a couple years, so we just made the decision to say, hey, you know what? We're out of the test trial. We've been together for this long. We've worked things out. We are going to go ahead and just go through the process.
So how long is that long? How long did you all date? Because you all dated for quite some time.
We dated
Get it
for
right.
about 5 years.
That's a long time.
5 years, yep. 5 years we dated. Mm-hmm.
I only had a year. So 2 years. So that 5 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still young. All right, so what made you say yes, Princess?
Kind of like how Ryan said, it was just, I mean, he was my first everything. I never dated in high school. I just didn't have it wasn't interesting, like, well, I wasn't interested in it. Like, I was just focused on school, friends, and just having fun because I was young. You're a teenager. And then I met Ryan in college. Didn't expect to, wasn't looking. So I kind of feel like that in a sense was like kind of like a blessing, right? Like, okay, like, well, my first everything, who ended up being my husband, just kind of like fell from the sky almost in a sense. What made me say yes, kind of like what Ryan said, is you invest so much time into somebody and you go through a lot of stuff during dating, as we did, and you get to know that person and grow, because we're come from two completely different lifestyles, different demographics, different family dynamics, and I think part of that is like you learn from each other and you also grow. And I could just see myself, okay, this is somebody that I know is gonna make a good husband and a good father and just be an overall good person in my life.
Aww. So I'm gonna take that as a compliment to me as well because I'm mommy.
Yes.
But you know, let me also add to that. Ryan is my energetic child. I'm just gonna put it that way. Ryan has he has a lot of energy, and he can be a handful, but he has a heart of gold. And I think that's what Princess is basically saying. You know, they had their ups and downs, and that's her dealing with all that energy. But she saw through all that, and you know, she decided to say yes, which is an awesome thing. So my question to both of you, either one of you all can answer this. And let me say, Mr. Energy is not drinking tea. Okay, no tea for him. Okay. He's being real good right now, so happy. Okay, so either one of you all can answer this question, but my question is, you know, dating now is hard. people are really hard. So what are the values that you said, okay, this, based on the things that you were witnessing, the things you've seen probably in your parents, things you've witnessed from others dating, that you said, has to be a quality. This quality has to exist in this person in order for me to make that commitment. What is the it?
That's a good question.
I know.
I think there's lots of qualities that can contribute to somebody either saying yes, whether that's to dating or marriage. For me personally, one is like how Ryan has a really big heart. You know, like we have different life experiences, and in some situations he'll be like, oh no, like give this person a chance or something like that, and I'm like, no, been there, done that, I know exactly what's gonna happen. But you know, sometimes having that different aspect or somebody who's different from you.
Sorry, there is a lot going on in the background, you all. You know this is not my typical background. I am in their humble abode right now. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But anyways.
But I think having that different perspective also helps. Because everything can't always be your way, because you don't really grow as a person. So someone having a really big heart, someone who's respectful and nice, even like as cliche as it sounds, or like as easy it sounds, like, oh, anyone can be that way, but I think someone who's genuinely like that is hard to find, because there's a lot of people out there who aren't, especially nowadays. A lot of people are very rude and grimy and just not the best person to even be friends with.
So true. You want to contribute to that? Or did you forget the question?
No, I would say my answer to that is growth or willing to adapt. That's the biggest thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you can only control the controllables. And, you know, as long as somebody acknowledges what they did wrong and is working towards it in a productive way versus a verbal way, that would be my it.
So what was it that you knew it was love? It wasn't a lust thing. You know what I'm saying?
This noodlehead beat me to the hospital when I got in the car accident. You beat the ambulance to the hospital. That's the part. I think that was my it one. That was me.
I think for me it was someone accepting me for me. Ooh, I'm gonna get emotional. Sorry.
That's what we do on Community.
But honestly, because you're so irritating. Anyways, no, but someone actually loving me for me and allowing me to be myself in all aspects of my life, even if it was good or bad, even, you know, because I think we all have bad traits, you know, so like even him helping me through that and still being there and helping me grow was me saying, oh wow, this person is legit, this person is for real, like they actually love me for me.
And let me say, he's very bad. Well, let me say that I saw that also in my son. When we first met Princess, you know, I'm mama. You ain't gonna be receptive to any female that come around you like, are you the right one for my child? Mamas, just trust and believe those things that you taught. If you taught well, they hold on to. And so I can truly say that I saw it after some time as well. I was like, they in it. And it's a good thing, you know, and it's not, you can tell when something is unhealthy. You can tell when, you know what, it's a waste of my time. It's just not gonna work. But you all stuck through it, you know, and you know that you're not done going through things. It's gonna happen, right? Yeah. We go through things. And so for you all out there that's still searching, or you're in these questionable relationships and you're like, I don't know, you know, I know this channel targets the females. I'm all about the ladies. But if there are men out there that happen to be watching, just like Ryan said, you know if that's the one. So let her go if she's not the one. And if it is, you know, step out on faith about it. You know, I'm all about faith. On all my sessions, I talk about my relationship with God and how I trust him and where my faith is. And I encourage people to pray. about things to make sure, and God will answer in his own way. He doesn't respond to everyone the same way. He responds to you according to how you are, how he designed you. And that's one of the things I love about him. But that relationship is so important, and having God as essential. So let's touch on that. How important is your faith when it comes to your relationship? And how does that come together? Because again, you both have different backgrounds. There were different belief systems. What was it? And the phone rings. Wow. But what was it? That you knew that, what? My faith is going to get us through here. What was it?
I think, well, one, it is very important, at least here, well, with us, since we're both Christians, to have God in a relationship, or so I believe. Because I know, like, when we get into arguments and stuff like that, like, I'll bring it up a lot, too. But I think that having God in your relationship helps a lot from both aspects. And I even, like, I think we've had conversations too where when we were dating, I prayed about our relationship because I didn't know, you go through different things in your relationship where you're like, oh man, like, I don't know, am I too young? Am I ready for this? Am I, all these types of things. But again, I think God showed me in different ways, especially through him, that you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Your faith, sir? Remember who raised you?
No, I would say me personally, in regards to that, it definitely helps calm a lot of concerns that might come about, like whether you say emotionally, financially, or personally, or anything of that nature. We'll focus around, since she said, in the way emotionally, I'll even say financially. There's a lot of scenarios that you just have to trust that everything will be okay, because of the fact that, as long as you were being persistent and being that, involving yourself with the word and believing, and, everything will be okay. There's a lot of people that do stress out and sometimes lose themselves because they just don't believe that everything will be okay, but everything works out for our good, right? It's a lot of times. It's a lot of times, like, especially with the song, everything, just like I said, everything will work out for the good. But it's a lot of times that people really, really overdo it. And then I'll sit there myself going, okay, we'll be all right. We got into the situation, we got a better job, we got an opportunity for houses and things like that. And it's like, it didn't happen just out of nowhere, just for a hot second. Once you get it, you have it. As long as you keep being faithful and continuously, devote yourself to the word, to him, and spread the word around. And even there's moments that you might, not feel it. You might not want to feel it. The biggest thing is you get reminders, especially around the house. We got a lot of biblical words and things like that. You just get that reminder, like, oh, you know what? I don't know why I got stuck in that one mindset. I need to focus myself on where everything started and how I got here. So that's where I'm at.
And to even touch on that, it's funny because we had a conversation with our friend like a week ago about it, because he was asking, because he's not religious, but he was like, well, why do you guys even believe? And we sat there and we had a whole conversation with him. We're like, well, there's things that happen in our lives, like how he was saying, you stress about like finances, but somehow, you got paid like exactly at this day that you needed it, or somehow you came into money, we were given a house when we didn't have, you guys didn't have to. And it's a lot of, again, reminders, and it's like, wow, I came this far, I was here, and I got this, and it's like, it didn't come from nowhere. It didn't just happen, like how he said. It's God, at least for me.
It was playing the name of the family.
But it's, you can't, I can't sit there and deny that he's not there. And he's not there helping me or protecting me or, giving me comfort through things.
I mean, I would piggyback off of that one, you gotta definitely include family in it as well too, because again, you might, like I said, you might have scenarios that you might forget, but you like the whole grandmother's prayer. You gotta pray grandmother, and that vice versa with parents. When you might be down and out, you still have somebody else that's back there helping you out, holding your hand, bringing you along when you are solidified and situated. Which I believe that's been something that's been going on throughout everybody's lifetime.
That's awesome. So one of the things that's important to point out for the ladies is that, you know, we have this idea of the guy that's going to rescue us. You know, he's going to come on his horse. We're slaving somewhere, right? Prince Charming is going to come on his horse, and he's going to rescue us and take us away, and we're going to get that beautiful house with a picket fence, and et cetera, et cetera. Reality check. It does not work that way, people. There are a few people that I would say probably have fairy tale lives, but that's probably in the 1% that actually happens for. But for the rest of us, it doesn't happen that way. And you know, I think it is important to have yourself together. And I mentioned this earlier about a lot of people are waiting because they want certain things to be in order. They want certain things. Did you have that moment though? Because you did date for 5 years, which is a very long time. And I'm sure you had an idea before the 5 years was up that she was the one. But was it sometime in that 5 years where you said, you know, I really would like to have this in order before?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody does, but then you get to that point, once you start thinking about that, you start creating a really, really long list, and now it becomes something that's not really tangible. So now you take it and prioritize what's the most important thing to you. So if you're saying attitude, you know, communication, so on and so forth, prioritize those things. So yeah, everybody's been in that scenario. So like I said, instead of creating a list and trying to make that fantasy, you know, relationship, you always want to make sure you prioritize what's most important to you. Top 3 most important.
Y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? Again, and that's what I see happening with a lot of people. I have a person, I'm not gonna say that she may be watching this, and she probably hate me if I said her name, of course. So I won't say that, but I do have a friend that too. She has been with this particular person for a very long time, and it's him. She's been ready, you know, and it's been over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, his thing is he wants to have a certain this, but seems like because he has reached this several times, and every time it's something, just like you said, that list get longer and longer. It's something else that he says he needs to do. So be careful on that. I feel that it's a trick of the enemy when it comes to people constantly putting off, you know, that. But I'm glad that you all came to the point, you was like, you know what, we're gonna do it, we might as well do it. And I think that's probably, you think it's the best thing that you all have done?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I know, it's just with that.
Because to me, it's like, well, what would have been the difference if we were in our 30s? You know, we live together, we own things together, we're on a phone bill together. You know what I mean? So it's like,
that goes against the Bible. Then, if we would have waited to our 30s,
huh?
Playing house, all the other stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Especially when you get that heavily invested.
Absolutely.
You know?
And
Yeah,
guess
had a
what?
part.
I still practice. You know, my walk ain't perfect, so
Tell them.
it
They
is
need
what
to
it
know.
is.
No, they need
But-
to know.
Yeah, I think to me, it wouldn't have made a difference if we were still living in different households and still dating, and now we're in our 30s and married, and because I had influences from my family. Oh, you need to finish school first. You need to get a degree first before you even get married, and then you have to get married before you have kids, and you know this long list of things that I needed to do. But it's like, okay, but that's not me. You know, it might have been you, or like, you know, you grew up in a very traditional way, but I love this person, and like how he said, once your list gets longer, you're gonna lose that person. That person isn't gonna wait forever most of the time. You know, like I'm not gonna wait 20 years for you. Like, as much as I love you, but I'm not gonna sit here for 20 years and play house and do all these things with you and it not really have a meaning behind it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think you end up losing that good person. I think what you said is true. It's like a trick of an enemy, because once you lose that good person, you're like, dang, what did I do? I messed up.
Right.
Like,
and that's the thing is that they're a good person. They're not a perfect person. They're a good person, and it's a good person is hard to find. It is hard, and I'm hearing it. And I have 3 other children, and they can tell you dating is hard. It's challenging, and we look for peace in this person, and I think it is important to know your values and know those things that you like. And I doubt that you're gonna find someone that you're gonna check off all those lists. Okay, they got this, and that. But when you weigh the odds and you say, you know what, they check off a big chunk of this list right here. I can work with this.
Yep.
There are some things that are like, absolutely not. I would never, And for me, I know I'm probably gonna get some emails from people. But for me, smoking. And people probably would have thought, well, they can stop smoking. I mean, that was just the ultimate no for me. You just can't. I'm sorry, but you just can't. And so everyone has their thing. But the point is that you came to a point where you realize that this is my forever person. Why not? And I think a lot of men are afraid to just step out and do that. They're worried about. I don't think it's necessarily a commitment, because you're committed while you're with her. So it's I don't know. Maybe it's something they saw. Growing up, they saw in someone else's relationship that or their friends that talk about their relationship that they carry this fear of taking the next step. But something about faith. It's just something about having faith in your everyday walk, and whether it's your relationship with your significant other, your children, your job, your relationship with yourself, because there you have to have a relationship with yourself in order to have a relationship with others. So I'm not gonna hold you all long. I don't hold you all long, because I can go on and on and on. But I first want to congratulate you all, because you are soon approaching your year of marriage. And you did it though. You did it, and they are doing a great job. This is their they had another home, but this is different. This one for them is different, and it is coming along beautifully. And again,
it's a work in progress,
right?
Just like yours. Okay.
I am very proud, and I've known Princess long enough to say, she's before the marriage that this is a daughter to me, and I really appreciate her, because anyone that can put up with this one, boy, woo! He's an awesome son, and I always told my boys, I said, you better treat your girl right, because I'm pro women, and if I know you're doing something wrong, I'll tell them. And that's just me. They're my sons, and I would tell on them. Yes, I would. So, I guess Mort. Gosh, wow. We got to the end of it, and
right.
Someone really, Mort, really. He said, "I want to be seen." This is one of our grand dogs, Mort. He want to be seen. There's another one. He's hiding though. But anyways, I'm very proud of you two. And I see many, 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 many more years coming for you until he turns. I'm dead and gone. I know that you all will still be going strong. And so, I always, when I say my prayers, I mention you all in my prayers, because you're doing a great thing. So I'm going to allow you all any final things you have to say about, young married folk to the people before we wrap up. Anything? Either one of y'all?
Keep God first.
Communication.
Communication is key. I was just about to say
Don't
that.
be scared to say nothing.
In a respectful manner. Okay. Always have that line of respect. I think you should always have that line of respect when it goes to both parties, whether it's a disagreement or an agreement or just a conversation. And conversations are important in any type of relationship, whether it's marriage, friends, family. You should definitely have conversations.
Again, he ain't got his tea, but he's sipping. It's gone. You have anything to say before we end?
No, I said my part. Communication.
That's it. That's all you have.
Thank you.
Just communication.
It's important.
Well, you'll see Ryan again because I will be bringing to you a video of all my boys and them just talk about young men. I am a proud mother. You all will learn that, and so you'll see my family because I am very blessed, and I acknowledge that. So thank you again for joining us for another episode of Community, where we have front porch conversations and we have a little tea. Take care, everyone.
All right, then.